Welcome to the second video in our Stop Violence Against Women Day 4-video training series. This video will cover how to influence your legislators. One seasoned legislator recommended that you contact your legislator 3 times each year. First, before the session begins, contact your legislator to introduce yourself, giving your legislator your address. This is very important so they know you're a constituent, and let them know what issue you care about. You don't have to go into much detail. You can just tell them that you care about, for example, domestic violence funding because you're a volunteer at your local shelter. If you send a letter, it might be half a page long. Next, sometime during the session, contact your legislator again, reminding them of your address and asking them to take action on a particular bill. You might ask them to support a particular initiative or to oppose it. You don't have to give them many reasons. A simple paragraph explaining why you want them to take the action will suffice. Third, after the session, contact your legislator and either thank them for taking the action you requested that they take, or let them know that you were disappointed that they did not vote yes if that's what you were asking them to do. In that case, you should ask them if you could schedule a time to come meet with them before the next session to explain to them why you took the position that you did and why you hope their views might be different in the following session. Most legislators don't hear from their constituents on specific issues. If you make those 3 contacts in 1 year, you are guaranteed that the issues you care about will stay on your legislator's radar. One legislator told me that if he hears from 1 constituent, it's an issue. If he hears from 5 constituents, it's a problem. And if he hears from 10, it's a crisis. So it really doesn't take that much of our collective time and energy to make sure they pay attention to ending violence against women. The best way to contact your legislator is in person. It's best if you try to schedule a meeting before the session starts, when usually legislators have more time to sit down and meet with you. Once the session begins, you should ask your legislator how they prefer to be contacted. Some folks really rely on emails, while others much prefer a letter to be faxed into their office or maybe a phone call. In general, form emails are not persuasive. Try to personalize any communication you have with a legislator, even if it only means adding a couple of sentences about why you care about the issue. For example, if GCADV sends out a request that you contact your legislator about proposed funding cuts, it would be helpful to tell your legislator exactly how much your shelter will lose if the cuts are adopted. You need to make them understand how this issue will affect your specific community. If a legislator asks you a question and you don't know the answer, it's perfectly acceptable to say, "I don't know, but I'll get back to you." No one expects you to be an expert on every issue. What matters is that you do the follow-up you have promised. Feel free to contact GCADV, GANESA, or the Georgia Commission on Family Violence to help answer any questions raised by your legislator. Now we encourage you to watch the 3rd video on the nuts and bolts of visiting the state capitol.